Hey guys, this is Jella and welcome back to my channel. We are now on part 3 in our Japanese town series. For this part, we will be making a cafe, bakery, and a taiyaki shop. If you haven't watched the previous parts of the series, make sure to watch those first. On the previous part, we made the middle block beside the main highway road. Now we are still in the middle block and we are starting this food business section. I mentioned from part 1 that this area will be the food alleyways. So we are just going to do this 2 shops in front. The first shop we will be doing is the bakery cafe. The ground floor is a 4 by 5 square space, and then we have the second level for the dining area. At first, I wanted this to just be a bake shop. But then when I started plotting out the layout of this town, there's just a lot I wanted to do, and it was scary having to max out the plot data. So I decided to combine the bake shop and coffee shop as one. For the entrance door, I used 2 glass panel door and made it look like a double door. Then I added horizontal windows to the side. I used a flat roof extending in front of the entrance, but we'll change the second floor roof later on. Then I added this cute awning just above the double door. As for the second floor dining area, I used the long clear window and resized it to fit the wall space. As you can see, I only added 3 windows, but I will be making it 4 later on. Moving inside, I used a floating staircase to make this bakery cafe a bit modern style. That is what I wanted to do here, an old bake shop transitioning to the modern style to fit the generation trend. Now for the kitchen, we will use this back wall as the prepping stations. And since this is just a bakery cafe, we will only have ovens. I won't be adding a cooking stove. I added plain counters in the front as the cashier and also for the pastry display later. Then I used the empty corner under the staircase as a washing area. I also added this flat trash bin where we can place the used trays. Since this is also a coffee shop, I will add coffee machines and I used this retro espresso machine because it looks super cute. So glad we have this now because the large espresso machine costs $block. I also added a few clutters in the prepping counter. I also copied the cash register that we made from the conveni. I didn't record the part where I baked, but if you already have baked cakes in your fridge, that would be better. I got this strawberry cream cake as well as the strawberry cheesecake from the Valentine's update. I have been watching a lot of videos before from a Japanese bakery, and they have this super delicious strawberry cakes. So I wanted to also add that in our bakery. I used a placemat and colored it to linen with wood texture. Now place 3 plates of the sliced cake and color the plates the same as the mat just so it camouflages. You can use different types of cake or pie of your choice. This is just an example of what you can do to make it look pretty on display. I also added this whole strawberry cream cake, but we'll move it to the other display table later. Now I'm going to show you some samples of a custom mini round cake. You will need a log mat and then resize it to look like a mini cake. Now add 2 more to make a 3-layer mini round cake. You can use different toppings just like what I did in the bakery I made in my Korean town. But here, I will be using the chocolate strawberry. This chocolate strawberry plate is from the Valentine's update as well. But if you collected it in your fridge, you can use it. If you don't have this, you can use a strawberry from the plants you pick in your garden. Or use a different fruit from the quick meals. We cannot change the color of the paper where the fruit is placed, so I will place this on the second layer. Then use the large grid to place the 3rd layer back on top. You can change the flavor of the cake to your liking, and it will just be based on the color and texture you will add the cake layer. I can fit 6 mini round cakes in one tray, so you will need 6 pieces of fruits of your choice for this custom mini cake tray. I'm gonna do the same in this second mini cake, but we'll just change the flavor to red velvet. We are now going to make the display table by the window so the customers walking outside can see the fresh pastries. I'm using this primal console table and we are placing 2 on one side and 1 facing the front. Because I wasn't able to bake bread loaves, I will just use custom bread rolls. So first is the simplest one, which is a rolled towel. Then color and change the texture to make it look like a bread roll. Then place as many as you like. You can also pile them up like this. I already placed them beside the strawberry cream cake. Anyways, next we will do is another pastry roll. This time we will use a bolster pillow. Resize this to the smallest possible and again color and change the texture. You can make this into different flavors or different textures to make it look like different types of pastry. Since this is quite little, I placed a lot in one tray. You can also move this with the transform tool without buying the Gamepass since pillows and blankets are free to use the transform tool. I want the display table to be light wooden color, so I will use linen with wood grain texture. To not make the tray the same color, I will just color the bread tray to a dark brown shade. Just the ones in this display table. Don't forget to color the plates on the strawberry cream cake. Okay, for the next pastry, we are going to use another pillow but with the round basic pillow. Resize this to make a small rounded milk bun. This type of bread is my favorite because it just melts in your mouth and super fluffy. We can add a lot in one tray, so I just line them up and filled as much as I can. Having this all together looks so good right now. I also copied the tray and I'm just coloring this to make it a chocolate bun. I also changed the texture because I wanted it to look glazed chocolate. Kind of expensive to replace the color and texture one by one, but you can place them on a separate tray for a cheaper price. I moved the bread roll to the other side so the colors can alternate. For this next pastry, I'm using this small box and again resize this like a small rectangular form. We will make like a fudgy brownie, so color this to chocolate brown. Fill the tray as many as you can, or you can place more on top. For the last pastry, I copied the brownie we made and just place another one on top. It will look like a double-layered mini cake. You can color this however you like, whatever flavor you may think of. Or you can add some toppings, but I'll leave it plain like these. I wasn't able to fit 3 pieces in one row, so I just have 2 per row, which is okay. I'm gonna add a basic cube under each table because I don't want to leave this space below. Just for uniformity, we will extend this basic cube a bit forward so there would be space for placing the bread tongs. And then we are gonna color the counters and appliances in this first level. Feel free to color this however you like. Now for the walls, don't mind me coloring this plain because I will be changing all the wall color later. So save your money and don't bother coloring the walls right now. As for the windows, I also use the linen with wood texture. I love using linen to make the wood a lighter feel, but sometimes I mix them with darker brown wood color. I also colored the entrance door the same as the windows to match the wooden color. For the awning, I will color this to reddish brown with the roof tile texture. This gives off a very traditional vibe even though the bakery cafe is transitioning to modern style. As you can see, I colored the exterior walls and roof to white as well. But again, I will be changing this later, so keep your money and don't copy this right now. Going back inside, I colored the step board and the stairs to match the flooring we have. Then add a flat crown molding and color this to wooden brown. Since there are empty walls, I will just add this square painting and resize this to slimmer. I'm gonna make my own decal menu, so if you also want to use that, the decal codes will be in the description box. I'm just adding a few items on the wall since it's looking plain. This is what I mentioned earlier that I will be adding more windows on the second floor. So this dining area doesn't really get a good view of the town since it faces the other side, which is the end. I'm also changing the roof to flared mansard roof because this looks better and more traditional. I was thinking modern earlier, but it didn't look good. Then just copy the color of the awning. I'm also adding plain thin pillars on the corners of the front only. The back side doesn't matter since we will be adding another building soon. I also colored the thin pillar the same as the windows and door. Let's add this lantern, and since the color theme of the bakery cafe is very brown and neutral, I will change the lantern color to a yellowish brown shade. I copied the flat crown molding and placed it on the second floor as well. Then add the glass fence railing to match the staircase railing. Now we are going to make the seating area in here. And I'm going to add this elevated seating area. I also made this in the Starbucks cafe in my Korean town. I didn't know that we can also use the new items from IKEA. So glad we got this new sofa chairs because it looks so comfy. I thought it was exclusive on other countries, but I'm glad we have it too. I can't add more seats in here, so I'll just add a floor plant by the corner. Then color and change the texture of this wall to skinny vertical planks. I super love this new textures. Anyways, I added a large painting in front for the shop logo. I also changed the decals of the menu and added more to the back wall. Now just add some clutters on the side for more details in our exterior. Now we are going to color the exterior walls to the darkest brown shade and add a ceramic tile texture. This has got to be my new favorite wall texture. I used it all around the exterior building, except the right side because we will add another building there, so just save your money. I also colored the flat roof since the plastic white was too plain for my liking. We are going to color the interior as well. Okay, moving on to the second shop on the right. We will be making a Taiyaki shop. Right now, I'm just dividing the area for the rest of the shops I will be adding in this block. So the next part of this series will be a continuation of this area. I already have plans on this 3 shops as well as the 2 shops at the back. I'm so excited once this food alley is finished because I super love eating and food gets me so excited. Especially restaurants and fast food places. So the Taiyaki shop will just be this small shop below. I'm adding an awning as well and rescale it as wide as the wall. Now for the door, I will just use this wide garage door frame. I want the shop to be open and visible to the customers walking by, since this is a more traditional shop. We are gonna add the fabric curtain that hangs in front of the shops where the logo is written. So I'm using structural items like a round rod as the string, and a vertical plank that I rescaled as the fabric curtain. We can add at least 6 fabric curtain cloth in this string line. Then just use the transform tool to lower down the planks. Color the fabric cloth to white and change the texture to plastic. Now add a round rod on top and color this the same as the plank. We will transform this to a different angle so it would look like the hanging thread on the fabric. inside the shop, we are gonna use this space as the kitchen. There's nothing I can add in here except a lot of countertops for prepping the food and batter. I won't add a cooking stove since we will be making a custom Taiyaki maker. I added a front counter and this is where the Taiyaki maker will be placed. I'm gonna use a basic cube as the base. Then rescale this a bit wider than the countertop, since we will place 2 rows of the maker. I used a log tray and rescale this a bit smaller. Now I know you will see me adding another smaller version of the round log, but I will be changing this later since it didn't look like a fish shape, right? Anyways, this is where I resized the base a bit wider since I wanted to fit 2 rows. Now here is where I wasted money again because I changed the color of this machine to black later on the video. Then for the fish bread, use a dirt stain texture. Just use the smaller round tray and don't duplicate the larger one because I will be changing this later to a basic shape. Then add small square beam on the edge and rescale it thinner and longer. Color this to black so you wouldn't spend much money when you duplicate this and place on the sides. I also added a thin square beam in the middle just to add a separation between the 2 rows. Now you can add some kitchen clutters on the counters. I just added a few utensils beside the machine. I will also use this stack of tray as paper plates for serving the fish bread. You can color this however you like. I'm just gonna use white with some texture. Feel free to add some appliances if you like, but I will just add kitchen clutters in here to make it look busy. I'm gonna use a tile texture on the kitchen wall side and just use a bit yellowish shade to make it look like an old shop. For the other half of the shop, we will just use a wood plank texture and color it brown. As for the floor and ceiling, just use the same tile texture but change the color to dark stone gray. We have this space on the left and I wanted to add a small dining area. So I used this rectangular table and added simple wooden chairs. I copied the vending machine from around the town and we will just change this decal later because the white vending machine is not giving in the shop. Since this is an old Taiyaki shop, I will be adding a lot of Japanese artworks in this wall frames. Back to the kitchen side, I added tall overhead cabinets because it feels too empty. For the exterior wall, I loved how the skinny ceramic tiles look. So I used that in here as well. Color the door frame the same as the wall. You can add a privacy blind on this door frame to act as a rolling door so you can close off the shop. I colored the awning to a light shade of green and used the stain texture to really make the shop feel like an old shop. I'm gonna add a vertical decal poster signage in front of the store. I wanted it lifted on the side, like a hanging signage. I saw a Tayyaki decal from the free images, and that is what I will be using for this one. I added this small dirt pile and recolored this to make it look like flour powder messed up on the counter, just to add some roleplay details looking like someone cooked here. I forgot to add a cash register, so we will just copy the one from the bakery and place it on the side counter. I added this horizontal windows on this kitchen wall because I feel like something is still missing. And look how there's a big change in the shop. I love how the customers outside can also see the staff cooking and prepping here. Now add this cafe curtain on the window above, Then color this the same as the awning. Super love it right now. We don't have a trash bin area, so we will clutter the side and add a trash bin and a few trash bags. You can add more if you like, but I will try to lessen it since we can add more once the town is filled. Anyway, this is what I mentioned earlier that I will be coloring this machine to black. Now add a taped photograph on the curtain we placed in front of the shop. This will be the shop logo. I will make a decal sign for each taped photograph, so you can use this as well if you like. I also recolored the vertical plank curtain to white since the decal I made isn't transparent. I also added a lantern on each side of the shop and just recolor the bulb so it wouldn't be too bright. We are almost done, but I just wanted to change the fin part since I don't know why I really pushed this 2 round logs here. So rescale this vertical wedge to make the smallest triangle as the fin of the fish. Then delete the larger round log and adjust the smaller one as the fish body. You can use the transform tool on the fin and lower it down so it would match the thickness of the fish bread. I wish I had pushed this idea sooner. I don't know why I had to waste all that money and effort earlier. I made a disclaimer earlier so you can save your money, guys, and don't make the same mistakes as I did. Anyways, we are done. So this is part 3 in our Japanese town series. Our town is now costing over $300,000. I know we still have a lot to go. Ready your money, cause this is definitely the most expensive town I will be doing so far. Anyways, this is how the town looks like right now. We finished this 2 shops and I actually love how it turned out. Here is a closer view of the exterior front building. I hope I did make it feel like we are in a neighborhood of Tokyo. Let's go first with the bakery cafe. I added a small bench seat over here for those waiting or like to eat outside. I'll show you guys the side area as well since we cannot leave it plain. I just added a dumpster area. Going back in front, I made this door like a double door so you can use which side you like to open. Once you enter, you can see the pastries right away. So we have the trays on the side and just grade the pastries you like and pay in front. These are all custom pastry breads except the strawberry cream cake on the corner. I hope we can grab a tray as well and pretend to place this pastries in it. I also want to try going to this kind of bakery where there's a lot of pastry choices and just grab whichever you like. We have more baked stuff in the front counter. And this one are special cakes. Definitely my favorite to look at in here cause it all looks so delicious. I could eat this right now. Over here is a washing station for the staff and also the customers can use. This is our working station. I just have 2 large ovens for baking. And since this is a cafe, I added coffee machines in here. So that is our first floor. Let's go to the second floor, which is the dining area. I wanted to add a separate section for the dining because the first floor is usually filled with lining up customers early in the morning. So we have a separate floor for those who would like to relax in a cafe setting. Anyways, I love the new IKEA sofas we have in game. Not sure if it is a limited item only. Now this is the elevated seating area perfect for students wanting to have their own table while they study. Also for those working or just chatting with their friends or loved ones. Although the view is really not in the town, I still added this windows to make the room feel open. I love how the strawberry cake slices look. Definitely my fave cake in this game. Going to the shop next door, we have the old Taiyaki shop. I super love this one, especially the curtain logo signage. Let me show you guys the exterior side area before going inside. I love how the horizontal windows looks like and the small clutters we added. Now the customers passing by can just order here in front. This is the custom Taiyaki machine or maker. I love how it turned out. So glad I changed the fins. Now it looks more like a fish bread. We have a small dining area or waiting table in here. Then I just changed the vending machine decal, but you can choose whichever you like. So this is the small kitchen side. I tried to add some clutters and I think this is kind of minimal, but I like how it looks. The people passing through this road can definitely see the workers prepping. So yeah, this is our small Taiyaki shop. For the next part of the series, we will continue the backside and upper area of this building. Anyways, that is the end of part 3 in our Japanese town series. Thank you guys so much for watching. I would appreciate your support by giving this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Also click on the notification bell so you won't miss the latest videos I upload. Help me reach a milestone of 10,000 subs before summer starts. This would help me a lot, especially in making future videos for you all. Have a wonderful day, afternoon, or night. Love you all and take care. See you on my next videos.